Hello, welcome back or welcome to my channel. It's Sunshine Lorena and this is going to be my February TBR. So guys, I'm going to be talking about all the books that I want to hopefully read in February. Now, if you watch my, goals of the year and also my January TBR, you will know that my plan is to randomize my TBR each month in a different way. However, I'm not going to do that this month. So I didn't read all the books on my TBR in January because I got approved for some arcs and things, and my reading kind of shifted on what I wanted to read. So what I want to do is this month, because I still have arcs, etc., I'm going to take you through obviously all my books to read this month, but I have like a lot of things that I need to read, so I don't want to do like some sort of randomizer and have like a ton of books in my TBR. I just got a little bit overwhelmed in January. I still read a lot, don't get me wrong, I still read a lot, but I want to have that pressure off of a TBR. So this month it's going to be the books that I need to read and also want to read, and then March I'm going to go back to randomly doing it in a random way. I already have my idea of what I'm going to do and I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's something different for me to do. On this TBR there may be some books that were on my January one, maybe, possibly, most definitely there are, because I didn't get to them and I still want to read them. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to start off on the ones that I was going to say have to read, but it sounds like I'm being forced to when I'm not being forced to. Ones that are priority reads for various different reasons. So the first one is To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han, and I'm reading this as I'm going to be a co-host for the Recreate Books Club pick for February. The creator is Ashley from Ashley's Media Addiction. I will leave her details down below. But yes, she has this book club where they read retellings or books that have been adapted, and she asked me if I wanted to co-host, and I said yes because I have been wanting to watch the film and read the books for ages and I just never got around to it, so this is a good way to get me to reading it. It is a YA, it is on Netflix as well. I will be reading and listening to the audiobook from Scribd because it is on there, which is great, because I do need to have more audiobooks on my TBR, as I learned from January, because I will pick them up anyway, so they should be on my TBR. But yes, I always have a link if you want to sign up to Scribd. I always have like a link in my description below. I think you get 2 months free and I get a month free or something, I can't remember, just for like referring you, but that's always there if you wanted to get a subscription. So in To All the Boys I've Loved Before, our main character, whenever she had like a crush, she liked a boy, she wrote a letter but kept it secret and hidden away, and she never actually spoke to them about it, or that's what I kind of get from this. But somehow those letters are sent to each of these boys, and then they all come and to speak to her about whatever's in the letters, so kind of confront her, so it's her like dealing with all of this. I think it's going to be really fun, an easy read, and like I said, I'll get to watch the film and compare as well, so I think it's going to be super fun. Then the next two priority reads for February are arcs from NetGalley of books that are coming out in February. It's really exciting that I have them to read. I did cover these off in my 23 to read in 23, and also the anticipated releases for the first 3 months of the year, but I'll just quickly kind of give you an overview. So the first one is The Davenports by Crystal Marquise. This is like a YA romance, I believe. So this is the story of the Davenport sisters, their friend and their maid in a rapidly changing country. It's set in around 1910 in America. The Davenports are an African-American family, but they are very wealthy. I'm not sure how they became wealthy, but it was their family members was a former slave and somehow made their fortune, which I'm hoping that we find out like the story of how the family became wealthy as well within this. But yeah, so they're wealthy, they have fancy things, chandeliers, they go to parties, but in such kind of turbulent times, will they be able to find love? And that's kind of the premise around it. I think it's going to be really interesting, the time period it's set in, and I'm really looking forward to it. And then the second arc that I have to read in February that's coming out in February is Song of Silver, Flame of Night by Emily Wen Zhao, and this is a fantasy book. It's the first in a new series and the cover looks stunning and gorgeous. I will probably have to buy a copy of this to have at my shelves because it's just beautiful. This is the first book in a new series that's inspired by Chinese mythology. So the premise of this one, in a fallen kingdom, one girl carries the key to discovering the secrets of her nation's past and unleashing the demons that sleep at its heart. Once Lan had a different name, and now she goes by one of the Elysian colonizers gave her when they invaded her kingdom, killed her mother, and outlawed her people's magic. She spends her nights as a song girl in the Haikskong, a city transformed by the conquerors, and spends her days scavenging for remnants of the past, for anything that might help her understand the strange mark burned into her arm by her mother in her last act before she died. No one can see the mysterious mark, an untranslatable hidden character, except Lan, until the night a boy appears at the tea house and saves her life. Zen is a practitioner, one of the fabled magicians of the Last Kingdom, whose abilities were rumoured to be drawn from the demons they communed with. Magic believed to be long lost, magic to be hidden from the Elysians at all costs. Both Lan and Zen have secrets buried deep within. Fate has connected them, but their destiny remains unwritten. Both hold the power to liberate their land, and both hold the power to destroy the world. It sounds really good, epic. I think it's going to be amazing. I love like when there's magic system and also when it's based on mythology as well, so it's going to be really interesting for me to read this one. So those are kind of the ones that I definitely need to read in February, and now we're going to go through the ones that I would really like to get to in the month if I can. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I will. The next one on my list is one that, to be honest with you, is the least priority on my TBR this month. I think kinda we'll see how it goes. But that is It Ends With Us with Colin Hoover. I had this on my shelf for ages. I know it's all over the book community, like everywhere, and they've just announced the casting for the film as well. So I do want to read it because I know the film will get filmed and come out at some point, but I do want to read it for that reason. However, why I want to read it in February if I possibly can is there is an in-person book club where I live. They have books, like a meetup every few weeks, and they have different books, explore different things. And I think it'd be really nice to go to an in-person book club once in a while. The first one I'm going to try and go for them is in like mid-February, I think, and they were reading like A Spare by Prince Harry, which I've already read, which is great. And then this one, I think the meetup's at the end of February, so if I can, it'll be really nice to like discuss this with some other people. And I know it's like such a popular book that I think it would be really good to actually speak to people, and it would be nice to like actually meet other bookish people in real life and discuss a book in person. So we'll see if I actually get to this. But this one, sometimes the one who loves you is the one who hurts you the most. Lily hasn't always had it easy, but that's never stopped her from working hard for the life she wants. She's come a long way from the small town in Maine where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So when she feels a spark with a gorgeous neurosurgeon named Ryle Kinnaird, everything in Lily's life suddenly almost too good to be true. Ryle is assertive, stubborn, and maybe even a little bit arrogant. He's also sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lily. But Ryle's complete aversion to relationship is disturbing. As questions about her new relationship overwhelm her, so do thoughts of Atlas Corrigan, her first love and a link to the past she's left behind. He was her kindred spirit, her protector. When Atlas suddenly reappears, everything Lily has built with Ryle is threatened. So yes, I think it's really good. I know there is obviously a sequel that came out last year. It starts with us, so I want to see what this is all about, what the hype is. Blake Lively is supposed to be playing Lily, they've announced. And yeah, I think it's been really interesting to read this if I can get to it, hopefully this month. Then another one that I would quite like to get to this month, if I can do, is The Lying Life of Adults by Elena Ferrante. So Netflix did do an adaptation of like a mini series of this, and it came out in January. This has been on my shelves for quite a while, at least a year and a half, I think. But I do want to read this so then I can watch the series. And it's done in Italian. You can do like, you do have dubbing if you want to, but I will watch it in Italian since I do speak Italian. I'll be able to watch with my husband, and that's kind of why I want to get to this, because I do want to watch that series. I might do a like read and then compare to like the TV series, like kind of vlog type thing. We'll see how it goes. But this kind of follows our main character is Giovanna, I think. Yeah, Giovanna, and it's set in the 90s from what I've seen on the trailer, whereas on the back of this I didn't know that, but it's set in the 90s, at least the TV series is. And it's following Giovanna, and it's her like she's an adolescent, and it's kind of showing two sides of Naples. So you have the world that she is in with her parents, I believe is kind of middle class Naples, and then there is her aunt who is on the complete opposite end of Naples, like a completely different like way of life, where there is more like excess, like vulgarity is what it says on the back of here. So it looks really interesting and I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully I will do it and I'll do that vlog for this as well. Then the next two on this list are two that were on my January TBR, guys, and these are the last two books on this TBR, and that is A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy Eilen, which is the first book in a duology. I do have the second one as an arc and it came out in January, guys, so I really do want to read this so then I can read that arc. But yes, it is a fantasy. I do want to read more fantasy this year. I think the cover is stunning. It is around tea magic. I'm not going to go into the synopsis again because, you know, I've done it quite a few times. But yes, so that's one of them. The other one from my January TBR that I want to try and read in my February TBR is Babel by R.F. Kuang. Like, I really want to read this, guys. Like, I absolutely loved the Poppy War trilogy. I bought this like autumn last year and I've been like, I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna do it, and I just never get to it, and I really do want to read it and see how good it is because I just absolutely love the Poppy War series. I loved R.F. Kuang's writing style, and I'm looking forward to this. And I'm just annoyed I didn't have time to get to this in January, but we can do it, guys. I know February is like the shortest month, but we can do it. I can do it. I can definitely do it. And that's it. That's all the books on my TBR. I'm hoping that I will be able to read them. If you got this far in the video, please leave like the finger crossed emoji because, you know, I want to know that you're rooting for me to get these books read. Let me know if you've read any of these. If there's one that you think I should prioritize over the other. Hit that like button, hit subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any more content from me, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!